And we begin with one of the gentlemen around whom this fight card was built. The #1 ranked UFC light heavyweight contender competing for the championship here on Saturday, Magomed Ankalaev. 205, the official weight for the #1 contender, Magomed Ankalaev. All right, next fighter to the scale is the gentleman around whom this fight card was built. The reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, Alex Poatan Pereira. 205, the official weight for the champ, Alex Pereira. All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of the co-main event, future UFC Hall of Famer, former BMF champion, former interim UFC lightweight champion, the highlight, Justin Gaethje. 156, the official weight for Justin Gaethje. All right, next fighter to the scale, back for the first time in a long time, the #11 ranked UFC lightweight contender, the other half of the co-main event, Rafael Fiziev. 156, the official weight for Rafael Fiziev. All right, next athlete to the stage competing in a featherweight prelim, Sexy Mexi John Castaneda. $145, the official weight for John Castaneda. All right, next man up competing in the middleweight division, Jordan Santos. $185.5, the official weight for Jordan Santos. All right, next fighter to the scale competing in the flyweight division, repping Myanmar in Houston, Texas, Joshua Van. $125.5, the official weight for Joshua Van. All right, next fighter to the scale competing live on pay-per-view, one of the best lightweights in the world, the 13th ranked contender, the Tarantula, Jalen Turner. $154.5, the official weight for Jalen Turner. All right, next man up competing in a prelim live on ESPN in the middleweight division, Armen Petrosyan. $186 for Armen Petrosyan. All right, back to the flyweight division now as we welcome Ray Suruya. $125.5 for Ray Suruya. All right, next fighter to the scale in the middleweight division, the Hulk Bruno Ferreira. $186 for Bruno Ferreira. All right, next fighter to the scale in the featherweight division, Ultimate Fighter winner Myron Santos. $145.5, the official weight for Myron Santos. All right, next man to the scale competing in the middleweight division, please welcome Ozzy Diaz. $185.5, the official weight for Ozzy Diaz. All right, next fighter to the scale competing in a welterweight prelim live on ESPN, the great white Alex Morono. $171 for Alex Morono. All right, back to the featherweight division now as we welcome Francis Marshall. $146, the official weight for Francis Marshall. All right, next fighter to the stage competing live on ESPN at a welterweight prelim, Carlos Leal. $169, the official weight for Carlos Leal. All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of the feature prelim live on ESPN, one of the best heavyweights in the world, the #5 ranked contender, Curtis Razor Blades. $262, the official weight for Curtis Blades. All right, next fighter to the scale in the featherweight division, please welcome El Guapo Chris Gutierrez. $144.5, the official weight for Chris Gutierrez. All right, next fighter to the scale, a man who has been there and done that, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view in the lightweight division, King Green. $155.5, the official weight for King Green. All right, next fighter to the scale, the other half of the featured prelim in the heavyweight division, live on ESPN, Rizvan Kuniev. 264.5, the official weight for Rizvan Kuniev. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view, former world title challenger and now the number 5 ranked contender in the strawweight division, Amanda Lemos. 116, the official weight for Amanda Lemos. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view, the number 7 ranked strawweight contender, Yasmin Lucindo. 115.5, the official weight for Yasmin Lucindo. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view in the lightweight division, La Jaula, Ignacio Bahamondes. 156, the official weight for Ignacio Bahamondes. All right, our final fighter to weigh in this morning, competing live on pay-per-view in the lightweight division, Mauricio Ruffi. 155.5, the official weight for Mauricio Ruffi.